So new or Command N. Okay, so I'm just starting with an 8.5 by 11 page. And our charts and graphs, oh, excuse me, that's the blend tool. What? Our charts and graphs are here. There's a whole bunch of these. But let's just start with the first one, okay? And that's a column graph tool. And if you just want to click, oh, let's just say 3 by 2, okay? We're going to kind of make that our standard size. All right, so you have a box that shows up, a grid, to kind of give you an idea what this is going to look like. And then here's a series of numbers, or a panel, I should say, where you can put a series of numbers. So let's just start out with 3. Hit your tab key. And let's go down to 1, tab key. No, let's go 5, tab key. Let's go up to 12, tab key, 4, hit your tab key, and 7, hit your tab key. So here's your scroll bar. You can go and see what all of them are. This will revert. This one does the cell type, like how wide you want the cell, and this will make more sense once you've seen one done before, or you can import data that came off of some other type of Excel document. But for now, let's just say apply, and you can see what my graph is going to look like. And I can always go in here and say, instead of 5, let me go to 6. And it will change, and I'll say apply. So that's kind of cool. So that's graph 1. And you'll notice that these are all in black and white. So we'll talk about that in a minute as well. Let's go to the next one. Choose stack. Same thing, just after you choose it, come over here to the desktop and just click. This box will show up again and just say, okay, we're going to do 3 inches wide by 2 inches tall again. Say okay. Looks similar as the other one, but you'll see it's quite different. So let's put in the same numbers we put in before. That was 3, 1, 6, 12, 4, 7. Okay? Here's the same numbers as before. Click apply, and look at how it does it. It stacks it. Kind of cool, and I'll show you how you can colorize that to make sense. Okay, let's go to the next one. Bar graph tool. Okay, click here and say 3 by 2. Say okay. Move this off to the side and do the same thing. Let's say 3, tab, get my tab key, 1, 6, 12, 4, and 7 again, right? So you can see how these are all dramatically different, putting in the same numerical combination, but by choosing the different graph, it looks completely different. It's kind of cool. So let's keep going here. So let's do number 4, stack bar graph. And let's just say okay. And let's say, I got my demo of that over here. 3, 1, 6, 12, 4, 7. Say apply. And say okay. Close this up. I'll move it out of the way here. Go to the next one. This one's pretty cool. All right, same thing. But this is different now. We're going to put in 2, or actually let's do 3 sets of numbers here. So let's just put 1, 3, 1, 6, 12, 4, and 7. Then let us go back and say this goes to 1, this goes up to 7. Let's say this goes down to 4, this goes up to 12, or let's say 10. Then let's pick this one and say this goes up to 3, then 5, then 2, then 8. We're just going to pick 3 of these to do. In fact, I guess I don't even really need these. We can highlight this and get rid of these. Let's just focus on, I think I've got one more over here. Do I? Nope. Okay. And let's say something that there is in 2, 10, whoops, not there, not there, 10, 8, and let's go down to 3. Watch what happens. You ready? Say apply, and here's our charts and graphs. Pretty cool. Set quick way of doing them versus back in the day, we did these by hand. Okay, let's try this one here. Same thing, 3 by 2. And this one, let's do 3, 1, 6, 12, 4, whoops, 4, not that for sure, 4, 7. And let's go back, say apply. So what it's doing here is this combination, it's making it for you. So let's go back and say 1, 7, 5, say apply. Oh, let me try this one, 3, 5, 4, 8, 1, 5. Oh, can't create paths. Oh, I know. So we gotta go back. Let's take this off. Take this off. Come on. But let's add 7. And let's pick something in between. Let's say 10. And let's pick 1. Let's pick 8, 2, maybe 5. And you can keep this going so the whole charts and graph continue. As an example, if I were to say 4 and then 2, and then I could say 8, 10, maybe that one's a little steep for there. 8, I gotta change that. 2 and 10. Oh, 110, say apply. So what it's going to do is it's going to continue to make this charts and graphs just depending on how many fields I add. So there's 1, 2, 3 fields. That's 1, 2, 3 fields. So that's how this works. If I were to add another whole row, let's just see if I can. 3, 2, 10, 5, 8, and say 7. Yeah, 5. See, 4 rows, 4 graphs. That's how this one works. So. All right, let's keep going. Scatter graph, this is interesting. We can show this, but, okay. Oh, it went off the field. Let me pull this back up here. Oh, come on. There we go. Well, now I'm going to start over here. So let's put it up higher. Okay, let's just try our 3, 1, 6, 12, 4, 7, say apply, and you can see they're all over the chart. And so you can, and that's what this is. That's why they say it's a scatter graph, because they really fly everywhere. And then you can connect the dots yourself if that's the effect you want to go with. Let's go one more time. Let's do 7. Let's do 2. How about 10, 7, 6. And 4, say apply, and you kind of get the idea. These charts and graphs will continue connecting. Let's go 6, 14, oh, we can't get to 10 bar higher. Let's say 2, okay, 12, 2, 7, and 3. And you can kind of get the idea how once you start to colorize these, it helps show a pattern. Let's do this over here. These next two are kind of my favorites, and believe it or not, I use this pie graph quite a bit. I want to do 2-inch square here, so just say, okay, 2-inch. And you can say 5, 20, 15, 35, 40, and 5 again. And say 5. And it totally does a chart and graph, right? Move that aside. Last but not least, let's do the last one together. All right, 2-inch again. Now if I say 3, 1, 6, 12, 4, 7, look what happens. Oh, can't see it. Say apply. If I go back and put this up here as like 5, say apply. If I go back here and say 7, 10, 15, 35, and 5. Well, hang on a minute. This isn't doing the charts and graphs the way I want it to. Let's do this again. Hold tight, guys. Why did it not? Oh, you know what? Let me go back to my preview. Oh, sure. I don't have it in the preview. Okay. Give me a minute. All right. Let's try this again. Hopefully it didn't pause and you can still hear me. Let's go back to the last charts and graph. And if I do 2-inch, and let's just say I do 25, 5, 10, 25, and 40, and then I come back and I say 10. Am I all the way back? Nope. Make sure. Nope. Let's make sure I'm back here. Let's say 10, 5, and 2. Oh, I don't want to do it. Keep forgetting it constantly goes down. 10, 5, go back here, and 2. Say apply. It does like a radar. Hence, if you go over it and it says radar graph, you can make your radar graph by selecting the intervals that go completely down horizontally and vertically, and you can see how it makes this graph. So, isn't that fun? How are we doing on time here? Okay. So now let's talk about how you want to colorize these. Okay. I'm just going to close that and get it out of here. Let's open up our swatches. And I can bring them over here. So as an example, let's show, this one is fairly easy. I mean, you want to just show, oh, not the little stroke here. Come on. And let's just say you want to grab different colors just to show different graphs, right? Because this is typically how they would do this. Let me see, yellow, and let's just pick our color. Black, I guess, is fine. But here is something where you could pick level of intensity, showing how quickly something grew in intensity. So this type of graph is really great for that particular type of application, or even let's do something like this, right? Kind of a given here, same thing, it can be anything. It could be any color combination. Oops. Okay, same thing though, you could pick these to show, since I've got them here, let's just go blue. And we'll just go down the spectrum here. Maybe it's meant to represent progress or something. You could grab this line and you could say, or let me see here if it would be unconnected. Let me see if I can, yes. Okay, if I ungroup my objects, so what I did is I selected them and ungrouped them. And if I say everything that's this color, I want to be this color. I could literally go through here and assign different colors to each one of my graphs. And again, I did that by selecting it, and then I say object ungroup or Command Shift G. And you've got to start learning these if you're not using them already, the keyboard shortcuts for a lot of this stuff. So anyways, then you can come back and say, I want all of these cut boxes that are this color, and you can go to select, and you can say same fill color. Select same fill color. And then I can select this and say I want, oh, not that, this one. Oh, sticking everything on my desktop. But you get the point. I can say this, select everything the same fill color here, or I can literally go through, hold down my shift key, go through and select each one of these, and I can assign it to some other fun color. Okay. Same thing with this. This could actually be an illustration for typography. I don't know if you've ever done stuff like that, and you probably haven't, but I actually did some freelance work for an engineering firm years ago. And back in the day before computers, not to show my age again, but I did all this by hand for them. And now to think that I literally could have taken these kind of tools and built their whole topography when we were doing landscapes would have been phenomenal. This is used a lot. In fact, I need to build another one for guest speaking I'm going to be doing to talk about different types of programs and the percentage of your marketing plan. And so everybody uses charts and graphs. And so this one is very, very, very common to use. You can move and cut things out if you want. You can grab something and you can rotate it yourself if you want. You can start using some of these effects that we've done, like drop shadow, right? I mean, there's a lot of really cool things that you can do for it. And then not to get too far ahead, we're going to get into how you can actually drop shadow and pie chart these things as well. So we'll get into all these things as the class goes on, but it's kind of exciting stuff happening. So anyways, that is it for this part of the assignment. Where are we at recording? So, we're only about 20 minutes in, so this is great. So what I'd like you to do is, some of you guys are going to get done with your other assignments sooner than others. So what I'd like to do is, this is not for grade, but I do want you to do this, and then I want you to turn it in. Your dimensions don't have to be exactly like mine. Your colors don't have to be the same color choices that I use. But I want you guys to do this exercise, and like always, put your name on it and turn it in on the Dropbox. So if you have any questions, re-watch this, and we can always go back over this in class. But it's fun. You'll get different effects by doing different things with it. And as you can see, when we were in this, let me just go back in here. When we were in this feature here, you could see that, let me just pull this up. There are other options you can do.
I want to show you a neat effect that you can do. Okay, I'm going to grab this top chart and graph. I'm going to go to Effect, 3D, Extrude and Bevel. I'm going to hit my preview. I'm going to change my depth to 25 and say OK. But now the sides look funny, and that's because there's a stroke put on them. So let's select these boxes and get rid of the stroke. And voila. And then you can change this as well. If you would like, you can do that after the effect or before the effect. Let's try this one. Let's grab this effect. And if you want to apply the exact same one that you just did, under effects, you could just pull down to the first one and it's going to apply the exact same effects. Okay, and what I'll do is grab these and get rid of the stroke on them. Now what I want to show you is how cool pie chart can be. So now that I have this, I'm going to select it. I'm going to get rid of the stroke. Okay. Then I'm going to go to Effect, 3D, Extrude and Bevel. And now if I hit Preview and then change this to something like 10, watch how cool this is. I can grab this and the blue represents the face of it. I can turn the pie chart. You can rotate it as well. There's just a whole lot of options you can do with it, which makes it look pretty cool. Okay, and say OK. Now, if you would like to, let me pull this out. Now, if you'd like to pull the piece of pie chart out, the thing you have to remember is, can you see these blue lines? That's actually where the graphic is, but we applied effect to it. But yet, if you want to modify one of these pie pieces, you actually have to click in that area with your direct select tool and pull it apart. Okay? But it's a pretty neat effect that you can do to a pretty simple chart.